Hi everyone, I'm Joe. Welcome to my channel. I give you honest reviews and help you make better coffee. Today, we are going to test the AeroPress. The AeroPress is pretty popular. It's a very innovative way to make coffee. It's sort of a design of a press coffee, a drip coffee, and sort of an espresso machine all bundled together. The inventor of it is actually the same guy who invented the aero. It's a frisbee. So, set some records with it. It's kind of weird that he made a coffee machine, but it's proven to be very successful and very popular. So I'm going to see if it makes good coffee. I mean, I've been using it for a while and I think it makes some pretty good stuff, but we're going to see if it makes, I guess, the best coffee. So let's take a look. We're going to do a cold brew, which I've actually never tried before, but it says that you can do it in about a minute. So let's see if that's true. And then we're going to try a standard hot cup of coffee. So I've already ground out 17.5 grams of coffee here, and we are going to get the process rolling. I think I'm going to start with the hot coffee just to test it out. Now I'm going to pour out this hot water in here, and the water comes out on the Brew Barista Express at around, actually right now it looks like it's coming out at around like 185, 190. So as soon as I do this, I am going to pour this out. Now this is 8 ounces. All right, so you have these little filters here, paper filters. Some people say that you have to rinse it. The inventor of it actually says you don't have to. So, and he has even reused one for months, which I think is kind of interesting. He just cleans it and then air dries it. So if you're ever in a camping situation, this is awesome. Look at how small this is. You can make, it says you can make up to 4 cups of coffee just by adding more coffee and then pouring over hot water after you've brewed. So it's a pretty cool method, and it's made of plastic without BPA in it. So you don't really have to worry about it cracking or anything. You could just kind of throw it in your bag and be on your way. So let's pull out another cup here. That way we don't get any spillage going on. So I'm going to dump the coffee. Now, if you look at different methods on the AeroPress, whoop, I got a little lost there. If you look at different methods on the AeroPress, some people will say that you need to bloom it, like what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to wait about 30 seconds here and kind of stir it up, get it to off gas so the CO2 comes out. Now other people will actually flip this thing upside down. So that is an interesting method to use as well. But I tested that same method, and my coffee came out a little bit more bitter, and I think it's probably just because you're agitating it quite a bit. You're agitating the coffee quite a bit, so you're getting more extraction. And sometimes an over extracted coffee isn't quite as good. So I'm gonna start pressing this through. It should take about 45 seconds to a minute. So you just kind of give it a little bit of pressure. Don't go too hard. The inventor actually has a couple of videos on this. Some people have a tendency of pushing as hard as they can. You don't really want to do that. You kind of want a soft press. Just sort of let the weight of the thing do a decent amount of the work here. And then you're probably going to hear, maybe, you're going to hear a hiss. In real life, you definitely will, right there. You're going to want to stop right there. Now the coolest thing about this, I think, is how easy the cleanup is. So all you have to do is turn this, take it off, pop it, and you're done. All you have to do is rinse this guy off. And you're good to make another cup of coffee. So I'm going to taste this. It smells very sweet. I'm getting notes of like butterscotch and some other very sweet molasses flavors.
What beans are those?
We are using the Lavazza Super Crema. Yeah, there is an astonishing amount of sweetness and a removal of bitterness when you brew in this method. It's one of my favorite, I would say it's my favorite method of making coffee minus an espresso machine. Okay, so we're gonna try a cold brew now. I have never done this. We're gonna kind of do it together, so let's see what happens. It says you can do this in about a minute, so I'm gonna grab the AeroPress. I'm gonna put the coffee filter in. Gonna lock it all up. All right, so the idea, let's hopefully we can get this to go down a little bit. Oop, let's take a couple ice cubes out. Oop. We're fumbling around. We're doing this live. All right, so the idea is the contact time, because when you do this, you're gonna have to do a finer grind. AeroPress in general is gonna be finer than your standard like pour over drip coffee, or even a French press. You're going to be a little bit finer than both of those. Definitely finer than the coarseness of a French press, and a little bit finer than a drip. So I'm going to start pouring cold water over top, and the idea is you're going to want to stir it and mix it a little bit more. Now I'm going to do less water than I did for the cup of coffee, because this is gonna get watered down quite a bit. So we're gonna go to like the 2 line. Let's see, yeah, right around there is probably good. So now I'm gonna start agitating it with the little agitator that it came with, and we're just gonna keep stirring it for about 1:30. So I'll speed this up, and let's see what happens. All right, so it's been about 1:30 seconds, and we are going to start pressing this through. Let's see what happens. Oop, we got a little pour over. All right, so that was a little messy, but that's okay. We'll clean it up. Let's give it the old test. This looks a little lighter than I would like for cold brew, but considering we did it in 1:30 seconds instead of what takes generally 24 hours to 48 hours, maybe it'll be good. Again, my cat just wants you to hit the like button. Just hit it. Okay, so this is pretty respectable. It's not quite as strong as I'd like it, but I like my coffee really, really strong. I drink espresso on a normal basis, so maybe I'm a little partial, but I think this is pretty good. So the title of the video is, does this make the best coffee? Is it the best coffee maker? So that's subjective. Obviously, I'm an espresso lover. I have an espresso machine, and that's the way I like to make coffee. Is this the best espresso machine? Definitely not. Does it even make espresso? Kind of not really. You could sort of make it, but it's not really going to get a full crema experience or anything like that. And there's a filter in it, so I don't know how you'd call that truly espresso. There are like devices you can get to sort of make it like that, but anyways, what I will say is I think this is probably the best press style coffee. So if you're thinking about getting a French press, this is only $30, $35, depends on what country you're from and stuff like that, but it's not that expensive. So I think it's better than that. I mean, you can really screw up quite a bit of factors in making this coffee, and you're probably still going to get a pretty drinkable cup of coffee. You don't have to go crazy measuring stuff. I know I did, but that was just to demo things. But you really don't have to go that crazy. And if you want it stronger or weaker, just add water at the end. So it's very simple. It's easy to make coffee with. And the other thing too is it better than like a drip pour over style? Again, it's subjective, but I think so. Again, you don't have to measure everything out. You don't have to be super precise, and your coffee is going to come out pretty good. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you liked it. Again, hit the like button, subscribe, and thanks.